You know what time it is?
Guys, welcome to Bad Wrench Live. This is going to be our new format and our new time starting this week. So what we're going to do from this point on is we're not going to do projects on our live streams because the projects are kind of bogging down what we're doing with the news cycle stuff. So we're going to switch this up a bit for you guys and bring you guys more of the automotive content that you guys are seeking. We'll start with news and wrap up with the Q&A portion. Q&A will be open discussion. I'll let you guys know when to chat in your questions at that time. But for the most part, a lot of this is bringing you guys the news that may have heard bits and pieces of it, but maybe you don't understand all the background to it. From my automotive experience, I will bring you guys all of that information so that you guys know and can understand what the ramifications of some of these changes are. And you only know this by being in the automotive industry, working on cars, fixing cars, dealing with dealerships. You won't have this knowledge unless you've done that particular setup. But this is how we're going to move forward. So every last Saturday of the month, 3 p.m. Central, we will be live here doing the news every month. If we get enough views, guys, we will entertain the idea of actually adding every other week. That way you guys get more news. So we are going to be looking at that aspect for the future as well. So make sure you guys are hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe buttons so that we can keep building this as we go. Let me start off by saying big announcements are going to be coming in this show. I'm going to drop some big announcements later on after we get through a few of the news cycle stuff. I want you guys to really gain the most you can out of my channel. So again, big news coming later on in the show. All right, let's go ahead and kick it back to our producer to go ahead and get our news cycle started. Some camera set up here.
Justin, yeah. I didn't like how it looked, but that's just how it is, apparently. Okay. Trying to fix something that can't be fixed. How about for those ads when you guys start watching the video right away, huh? Those lovely.
Yeah.
But we need to get paid from YouTube, so yeah. I don't like it either. If I click on a video, I want to watch the video, you know?
I know.
That's the frustrating thing for me. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but yeah, that's what happens to me. Okay. It's a little too big for my taste. Okay. All right. Now that I know what we're looking at. All right. So we want to start with Motor Trend.
Yep, we'll start with Motor Trend.
Feeling hot on Motor Trend today. So now they're telling us stat-wise what we should choose. With this article, 2026 Ram 1500 backcountry is statistically your next truck.
No, it's not, because they haven't recovered from the damage of them trying to go EV. So,
oh, forgot. EV was said.
So they have not recovered from that massive debacle that they had. Guys, I called it a long time ago that Stellantis was in trouble because they basically shell companied that thing to sell their EVs. That's the only reason that they bought the company in the first place, was to gain shares in the US market. That caused so much pain in the automotive industry that many people that were loyal to that brand have now switched away. And later on, I'm sure there will be a topic that'll come up about vehicles and for our people getting their vehicles repossessed, loans being out of control. I will be talking about that later on. So let's go ahead and hit the next.
Well, first we have to say welcome to the official JLS 2026. Hi, he says, and we say hi back.
Hi, good to have you in here today.
Just a reminder, when you're in the chat, exit out, hit that like button because it really helps us, and then come on back in and chat away and let's have a fun conversation. We rode in the Slate pickup, and here's what we learned.
Go ahead and click on that one.
Cool, yeah. 2027 Slate pickup first ride. We ride shotgun as Slate confirms pricing, pre-orders, and a delivery timeline. Slate's affordable electric truck gets more range, more towing capacity, and a clearer pricing picture as pre-orders open.
Like I said, this might have been a decent truck had they not tried to push the EV portion of it. People are itching for something that is customizable, things that they can work on and do things with. And really, that's the secret to selling a truck, is make it to where you can customize it to your own specification. If you can't specify it or make it your own, then a lot of people are just not going to be impressed anymore. And that's where it really comes down to. As far as the EV side, you guys already know how I feel about that. The EV is a horrible idea to begin with. It was a failed design based on minerals that require us to do a whole bunch of stuff that is not good to the planet. Plus, disposal of these things is almost impossible. They can dispose of the metal portion of the vehicle, shred it up, whether it's the plastic or metal, and remelt it back down and reuse it. But the batteries are the problem. Disposing of the batteries is still an issue. I don't care who tells you this anywhere else on the internet. The battery disposals are still an issue. What they do is they strip down the components that they can recycle, but the ones that become a little bit radioactive from being charged and discharged, there's a little bit of radiation that comes off of those batteries. They can't be just melted down and made into something else. Those have to be disposed of. And the way they dispose of them, dig a hole and throw it in the ground. That's what they're doing.
Not very save the planet.
Yeah, not very environmental friendly. I hate using that word here, but yes.
Not sure what you mean by this, JLS, but when did you made it say it? And then he says, it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
If you mean us, we have this live show the last Saturday of every month.
Yeah, we've been doing this now since the beginning of the year. Last Saturday of the month, we go live. We were doing 1 p.m. We decided to switch it up to 3. The reason why is I put out a poll. Majority wanted to be between the 3 to 6 o'clock range, so that's why we moved it to the new time. And then we're also not going to be doing projects. So we killed the projects on the live stream. If you guys want projects, check out my videos that I drop Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Those are all project, all how to do stuff, what tools I use, and where you guys can get certain items. So those are more of the in-depth physical working on stuff. This is automotive news and Q&A that we answer questions as we go, but we also take a Q&A session at the end as well.
He says, I was gone for probably ever since late 2025. Wow.
Yeah. I remember.
What you been up to?
Yeah, I remember. He was, I want to say the last live stream that I seen him on was back in either September.
Having too much fun? No.
September or October. I want to say it was sometime in there. I don't know for certain. But I was also doing a lot of live streams at that point. So we've dialed the live streams back because we need to get more chat going. We need to get more interaction before we can increase the amount of live stream. I'm not getting my views from the live stream mainly. I'm getting them from the videos that I'm releasing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's what prompted us to only go once a month. And yeah, this is actually the first week of just straight news, guys.
Yeah, so that must have been back when you were first figuring out the channel and, oh, what should I do? What do people want kind of thing.
Correct. I was doing a lot of live repair only and not doing any pre-record videos. I've completely switched that format now because I'm getting better interactions from doing short form content for the repair. And we're really hoping that the news kind of kickstarts the live streams a little bit where we have more conversation about what the news is doing. Hold on for a second.
How do I dip it down a little bit? Just a little bit. Okay.
So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. And if you got more, go ahead and chat them in.
Yeah. Next one, oh, sorry. Forgot it changes. Can the 2027 GMC Sierra 1500 raise the bar for premium pickups again? 2027 GMC Sierra 1500 first look. Bigger V8s, bigger screens, and bigger ambitions.
And also bigger surveillance. You can go ahead and hit the fail.
Is it EV or the other one?
Failure.
Oh, yes.
So here's what you guys need to know about any vehicle 2026 and beyond as of right now. What's happening is the vehicles are becoming way more heavy in the surveillance systems, meaning the OnStars are more connected and more hardwired into the vehicle. They're putting integrated cameras in the front of the vehicle and in the passenger compartments, meaning that they can use those cameras and AI technology to detect whether or not you've been drinking or you are impaired. They are then going to use it to where they can shut the vehicle down and not allow you to drive your vehicle you're paying for, technically you own, which you don't own until you've paid off the bank. But basically, they're going to use those systems to lock the vehicles down. They become a digital prison. Vehicles nowadays are not just a means of transportation, it is a form of control. I really hate to call it what it is, but that is exactly what it is. If you can get your hands on something pre-2015, I would now while you still can. Because once this gets pushed into play, a lot of these systems are going to get very, very surveillance heavy, meaning we're going to see videos of people driving impaired. We're going to see videos of vehicles not starting because they could tell that the person walked out of a bar. They might even tell if a person's too tired to drive and not allow the vehicle to start. I'm calling it now, and trust me, I will be right on this one. And I'm not the only one predicting it. There's a lot of people in the automotive industry that are already saying.
Well, I sure hope somebody picks up that phone because I f***ing called it!
Yes, he called it. And we kind of saw this in the Kia Soul because there would be times it would have a coffee symbol and say, you need to take a break.
Take
and
a
I
rest
wonder
break.
if it's because it was used to me driving. And then when you drove it, it's like the visual was off and it's like, okay, can't even tell that.
Yeah.
So it could be wrong and then you can't drive where you need to go.
Correct. And that's exactly what's going to happen is these systems are not accurate whatsoever. AI systems, for the most part, are frustrating. Can they give you good information? Yes, when you're trying to narrow down a problem. And guys, we don't have the vehicle here, but you guys know LS Goat. LS Goat has electrical problems, and not just a few. It has an extensive amount of electrical problems. And I've been able to use AI to help narrow down where I should look. But that's just it. It only will get you in the ballpark. It's up to you to get it the rest of the way there. So don't just rely on AI for everything, guys. Double check your facts, double check the information that's given to you. AI has been historically inaccurate.
Sad but true. I mean, it's like anything. Like here we have ethanol from corn, and they keep pushing it, and it's like, okay, here's the problem though. It doesn't work well on your engine. So make an engine that actually has ethanol work well with it. Hey, there you go. But they haven't yet.
The problem with ethanol is a very aggressive fuel, meaning that it's hard on fuel lines, hard on injectors. It's not even the vehicles that are built for E85 technically don't run well on E85. You burn way more fuel because you have to burn more of it in order to actually get the vehicle to move like it was on gasoline. Gasoline is very efficient. It is also not horrible on the environment like everyone keeps saying it is, because we've talked in extensive detail on catalytic converters and how important it is to keep fresher catalytic converters in your vehicle, meaning 7 years or newer. If you're 7 years or newer, your catalytic converters are going to be operating at maximum efficiency and you will not have pollution. Will you have something called carbon dioxide? Absolutely. But carbon dioxide is not harmful to humans unless it's in an extreme amount, because most of our atmosphere is carbon dioxide. So that's not the problem. The problem is the carbon monoxide. You need to know the difference between these two, because when some eco psycho wants to come at you, you need to be able to differentiate the two so that other people understand. You're never going to get that person to hear your point, but everyone around you will. And that's what you're trying to do, is educate the general population, maybe not the person who's coming directly at you saying that's harmful. No, it's not harmful. What's harmful is the carbon monoxide, which is burned off in the catalytic converter. And it's burned off at a rate of 100% as long as the cats are newer than 7 years old. That ratio diminishes over time. So over time, you will start gaining a little bit of carbon monoxide that the catalytic converters were not able to burn off. Usually at about that 15-year range, the catalytic converters are shot, and you're probably putting out way more carbon monoxide than what you should. So there's a little bit of factoids for you.
On the upside, it sounds like it's gonna be bigger engines, which is nice. But then they have, one of them is a turbo, so don't really like that. Another upside, these engines are gonna be built in Flint, Michigan, in New York, and the other one's Canada. So, but having known some of this is coming back to the United States is nice.
Yes, I mean, making sure that they're built back here in the US. One of them is going to be, they are bringing back the 5.7, which is the 350 block of engine, 350 cubic inch engines. These engines were phased out in the late 90s, early 2000s, but for the most part, by 2000, they were done making the 5.7, the 350 or 350 cubic inch engine. Instead, they went to the 325 cubic inch, which is the 5.3 LS engine. So again, they're going away from a very true and tested engine, which was the 5.3, to update it to the 5.7, which is basically an old school block. Now, what they're going to do with that to make it efficient for modern day stuff, it'll be interesting. But at that point, if they could have done it back then, why didn't they? Was my question.
And they already build full-size trucks in Indiana, and they're adding production in Michigan, and there is no plans for a hybrid at this time because they only account for 1% of trucks sold. So yay!
Yep, and not a surprise there actually, because we knew that the EV market on trucks was dying. The Ford Lightning was an absolute failure. As much as you would charge that truck to do what truck stuff does, you would be spending more time charging that truck than using the truck as a truck. So that's why the EV has been a total disaster when it comes to pickup markets. Trucks are too heavy. You can't use the electric motor setups with the battery setups, adding all of that weight to make it work and be as efficient as gasoline, plus the amount of minerals you're chewing up to make those batteries. Guys, EV is a failure all the way around, and the sooner we realize it, the better.
Before you buy a Honda CRV, here's the version we'd choose over the, I don't know. Honda CRV hybrid versus gas. Is the hybrid worth the extra costs?
Never. Hybrids are never worth the additional cost. And here's the reason why, guys. Most hybrid systems don't give you much more range. They don't add range. All they do is maybe lessen the amount of fuel you use slightly. Not even that much. I can give you guys an example of this. A friend of mine has a Jeep. That Jeep runs a mild hybrid setup. They call it the E-by-4. It's a Jeep Wrangler E-by-4. What happens is he gets about 21 miles out of a range on a charge, meaning he's not getting much for mileage, and he uses the regenerative braking system when he can, but it doesn't regenerate the battery enough to make up for using it. In other words, what has happened? They've put way more electronics on the system. They've added the weight from the battery. They've also made the electronics so heavy on the motor side to be able to shut the motor off to run the EV portion of it that it's just not feasible. So hybrids are always more cost, and when they break down, they are extremely expensive. Basically, compare yourself to a gas engine and the price of fixing an EV. Average that over time, and a hybrid is actually worse than both because it has both. So you'll fix the gas engine like you would fix a gas engine. You'll fix the EV like you'll fix an EV, meaning your batteries are tremendously expensive.
I'm just trying to read their thing and finally get, it said which one we would choose.
I'm going to guess they're going to dodge the question because this is Motor Trend that we are looking at. Motor Trend leans more towards EV.
For today's CRV, however, the hybrid is the way to go. It's worth the added expense.
I called it.
Yes, you did. You freaking called it.
Well, I sure hope somebody picks up that phone because I f***ing called it!
So that was fun. All right. Inside the 17,900 robot that could change the auto industry.
Gag me with a spoon.
Automakers are betting billions on humanoid robots. We explain why that matters long before Rosie the robot lands at home.
Auto manufacturers are going to look for anything to cut costs. And this really kind of tips into what I was going to talk about, the high repossession rates right now on automotive, in the automotive industry, and what it's going to do to future car sales. I don't want to go all the way into the weeds with this yet, because I want to see what the drive has, and we're not done with Motor Trend. But just know that the auto manufacturers are going to look to cut costs however they possibly can. Meaning if they can hire a robot, that all they need to do is hire one person to maintain that robot, but that robot can work 24/7, never have to take home a paycheck, and they don't have to pay union wages. Guess what they're going to do?
I just wonder how they're going to work with unions then, because everyone working there has to be in a union. And you know the unions are going to want a contract that says they will not have robots.
So what's going to happen is they will say, well, we are eliminating this position, meaning that it's no longer available, so they can choose to let that person go. But then they can say, okay, if you guys want to have specialized technicians for servicing these humanoid robots, they can come in. And if they come in, they may or may not need to have a union for those workers because they could choose to subcontract them in to maintain the robots. So,
And as you guys see on the screen, the section of vehicle companies that also are making robots.
and I'm pretty sure Tesla is on that list.
Yes, right at the top.
Again, all that.
Yeah, you did.
Well, I sure hope somebody picks up that phone because I fucking called it.
I'm gonna have that one memorized after a while.
Need to have a lot more of them memorized.
What makes Polestar shine?
The only thing that I can think of that's going to come to mind when it comes to that is going to be cost versus entry-level market getting into them. Again, this is not really going, they don't have enough of the market share to really try to change anything up. So the only people that are going to go with them are people that know about them.
Just for you all that don't know what it is, Polestar is the all-electric performance brand born of Volvo, which will be leaving the US market in 2027.
And that's because the US market has clearly stated, take your EVs and get out of our country. It has been made abundantly clear by the current administration and by the lack of sales in the industry. So, and this isn't just one EV company that has faced this problem. Ford has had this problem. Dodge, Ram, and Jeep have had this problem. Chevy took note of what happened to the other two and decided to run in the other direction. Now, will they still offer EV platform stuff? They will, but they're going to dial it back. As you're seeing, the problem that I still see is GM, and this gets it right into our main topic today, guys, that you guys saw on the thumbnail. GM is hyping their sales based on, we are selling you safety again. This safety is the surveillance system, guys. When you buy that new Chevy, when you buy the new vehicles, you're buying a moving surveillance system, a digital prison. These aren't vehicles anymore, they're moving digital prisons.
And apparently it's Chinese ownership, which they're saying, which ultimately led to Polestar's US exit. And China definitely does that to their own people, so why wouldn't they do it to others?
Yeah, and they're going to be big on the surveillance systems. I promise you those vehicles would have been loaded with surveillance systems. And if the information is going overseas, guess what? They are selling your information, and there is no one stopping them. The only thing that happened in the US that saved the US citizens was when GM got sued. And guys, this is what prompted some of my videos earlier this month on the OnStar system. They got sued, and they got sued bad. Now, are we going to see any of that money? Doubt it. We ain't going to see a penny of it. But what's going to happen is the government is going to slap their hand. They're going to pay a penalty to the government, and the government's just going to shake their hand and walk away. But the problem is that it didn't matter if you had an old vehicle like this, it was still uploading data to the OnStar system. Your location, your fuel mileage, how much you drove, vital statistics on the engine and how it was running. All of that information was being collected and then being sold. And that's why I prompted to show you guys how to remove the OnStar system on your vehicles, because we had to. And if you do have one, make sure you guys either disconnect the antenna or disconnect the box. Use your AI devices that you have to locate where they are and either unplug the box or unplug the antenna.
So reminder, welcome today to the channel. If you have any questions, put them in the chat, and please hit that like button and subscribe so you know when we go live next.
We do this every last Saturday of the month, guys, at 3 p.m. This is our new format and our new show. Little side note here, so let's go into a side note. Guys, thank you for all the support. We are really growing. The channel is growing. We are getting new subscribers daily. And I've already worked to bring you guys new merch. You guys can check out the merch at fourthwall.com. Also, link is down below. So if you guys back out of the chat and scroll down, you'll see our link for Fourth Wall. Also, in the description, guys, this is the big announcement. We have added an Amazon store. You guys can get stuff we use on the show and stuff that I recommend, not only detailing products, but repair projects, lights that we use on vehicles. All of that can be found at our Amazon store. It's linked in the description down below. All right, so back to
We have to thank Jay. He gave us a super chat of 99 cents.
Well, thank you very much, Jay.
Next.
And we have missed you, Jay. Trust
We
me,
have.
when I've been doing some of my live shows, I miss all my mods. I love it when my mods are in. You guys make this fun.
Is that why he's not, like he doesn't have the symbol for the mod? Because I was like, I remember a J, but there's no symbol.
Jay, put it down in the comments. Did you like redesign your channel or use a different channel that we didn't have you modded up? Because if we don't, we could mod you here today. But I know that he was a mod, but it might have been
Sorry.
it might have been one of his other channels. I know he had 2 channels for sure.
Well, I've been busy and everything like that, Bad Wrench, and this is a new account.
That's the reason why. Go ahead and mod
Okay.
him.
Alrighty.
Be able to.
You want to chat while I do that?
Yeah, no problem. So guys, we're growing. We're doing really well. You guys, the head.
He
You
lost
guys,
access to his other channel.
aw. Yes, it's really hard to balance the algorithm and not get flagged and all that other stuff. It is very frustrating. We do walk a fine line, and there's some things that I will be saying in the news portion of it that I'm hoping doesn't have negative ramifications, but we'll see. I know that YouTube loves to limit when you talk against talking points that they are promoting. So, yeah, some of my automotive news is definitely going to do that.
It's like a religion.
Okay.
Okay. Is the Honda Element really returning in 2029 with hybrid power? Who cares is my response.
Yeah, and it would be mine too. I mean, it's really pointless.
That was a short one.
Yeah, you're talking about a vehicle that is more or less for the soccer moms that can't afford to drive a Suburban. So that's really what it's about.
Can you afford the repairs when the hybrid goes correct?
And that's the $1 million question that nobody wants to answer right now, because when your batteries cost 20 to 30K, you're not able to afford that. And on some of the hybrid systems, I will give them some credit. Maybe that battery isn't that much like it is in a full-blown EV. Still spending a lot of money to replace that battery.
And I had to learn the hard way, but after a while, it's like, okay, I'm spending more on repairs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next. Here's why at least one research firm says not every car brand will survive today's product drought.
This is the topic I was waiting for. So it is time for me to cook.
Before we do, we have Jay saying mid to exceptional sales value depends on how expensive the battery is. Right?
That's literally what it's coming down to. Yes. But historically, look at it. EVs and hybrids have the worst resale value out of any vehicle ever made. And the reason why is the new owners don't want to take the hit to fix those systems when they go down. And a used vehicle is highly likely you're going to eat that cost. This is why Teslas go from over $100,000 brand new to you can buy a 7-year-old one for less than 10 grand.
I know I heard Joe Rogan say, a used one, you can get it for this, and it's so affordable. And I'm like, dude, because the battery's gonna die soon.
Yep. and I'm going to go ahead and rip on him just a little bit.
He means well, but yeah.
He means well, but here's the problem. He has what we like to call FU money.
Yeah.
Because he has FU money, he can choose to buy any vehicle he wants just by walking into a dealership. What does that do to a person? It breaks their sense of how much things actually cost. And they become unaware of the real cost of maintenance because they're not the ones doing it. They're getting rid of the vehicle beforehand.
Jake, I have a question. Out of warranty question.
Yeah, see, the warranties are
Does the warranty cover the batteries?
The warranty is a joke. Most batteries have a warranty of 8 years or 100,000 miles. After that, you eat 100% of the cost. And here's what they're not telling you. There is a lot of the aftermarket warranty companies that you could potentially buy a warranty. Guess what item they decide to exclude from that warranty? Yeah.
And if they are, maybe there's a reason. Maybe they're corrupt, but maybe, just maybe.
Maybe they realize they're not going to pay for a full battery replacement on a vehicle that already needs a battery.
So
we should cook back to the last topic that you read because I need.
Yeah, I was gonna read.
Okay.
But thank you. We're on the same page. At least one research firm thinks some automotive brands and manufacturers will die soon. Tariffs, regulations, and China. The next 5 years could reshape the car industry more than most people expect.
First of all, this, like I always told you guys on the news cycles, and I will say this as long as we do news stuff. Watch out for the fear ads. This is a fear ad. But here's what you do need to understand. There is a reckoning coming in the automotive industry. I am calling it now that some car brands will not survive. The reason they will not survive is because they've priced themselves out of the market. We have a question.
I think he needs a clarification. It says, so it goes the warranty when the car is on the warranty, and then the warranty is voided. And then he says that's some of Mopar. Question.
So, okay, the Mopar, here's the thing. If you do anything to the vehicle, let's say you go in, you want to fix something on the car. If you do anything to that electric vehicle, it voids the warranty, meaning you have no warranty. They are not going to cover you. Next, the warranty is 8 years, 100,000 miles. This covers battery and any components that are tied to that battery system. On the Rams, it is the e-torque system. So the e-torque motor, which is basically an oversized alternator, and I've already complained on how big of a POS that whole system is, because it really is. It's junk. I would never buy an e-torque. A coworker of mine had one, a customer of mine had one, and every single one of them has replaced the e-torque. Next, when it comes to the warranties, they are going to look for any reason not to warranty a very expensive repair. And what it means, replacing batteries at thousands of dollars, replacing electric motors at thousands of dollars. They want any reason that you might have done this much to change the vehicle to where they can say, we're just not going to cover it.
And yet that issue we had with Kia that didn't even acknowledge that there was a problem. You had to point it out to them.
Correct.
And how many people are going to know some of this stuff?
Correct. Technicians nowadays, guys, are certified part slinging monkeys. Guys, I know I have mechanics who watch me. I don't mean to offend, but you have to understand how this happened. Basically, we took and put so much emphasis on college and trying to educate kids that we don't actually give them hands-on training. That hands-on training is what is the difference between a good mechanic and a part flinging monkey that knows nothing about how to actually repair a car. And for the most part, couldn't even tell you what's wrong with it. It is sad that I've been working on cars since I was 13 years old. And I can listen to a car and tell you what's wrong with a car. Nowadays, most of the mechanics can't do that. They have to have a certified tech, AKA one of their highest level techs, have to come out and actually sit with me for me to tell him what was wrong with that car. And that is terrifying to what the industry is becoming. We have to be paying attention to this. This is a big issue in the industry.
I mean, we were under warranty. That means it needs to get fixed. And they're like, it's fine. It's fine. It's like, no, it's not fine.
Yeah. And the
And
issue,
again, don't pee on me and tell me it's raining.
and the issue is that that was something where when the timing chain would have failed, it would have taken the entire motor with it. So I basically saved the motor. But at this point, maybe I should have let them take the motor so that they could have fixed the oil leaks with it too.
Oof.
All right.
All right. If you think there are fewer new vehicles coming to market these days, you are correct.
Yep. And I am about to tell you why.
There you go.
All right, guys. So the auto manufacturers are scaling back.
We believe a day of reckoning is on the horizon. Nice.
Yeah, I'm calling it that it's on the horizon, and this is the reason why.
Mark it now. He's calling it.
Guys, here's what's happening in the auto industry. What happened during COVID was a wake-up call to many of the auto manufacturers. Many of them scaled back production, only sold what they had on the lots, and are still operating at that pre-2021 level, meaning that they're only barely putting out a little bit more than what they were during, or not 2011, sorry, 2021. So during the 2021 markets, they haven't increased the amount that they're producing as much. GM is already being sued by dealerships for not giving the dealerships enough cars to be able to sell to meet their quota. Big red flag. We're talking massive red flag. What that means is that they're demanding that they sell cars that they don't have. Why? Because GM knows what's coming. They see the writing on the wall. What's happening in the car market right now is cars are costing 60 to 100K. Cars are being repossessed at rates that are astonishing. You would be shocked at how many cars are being repoed today, just on a Saturday. That repo market is actually taking cars away from the potential because those cars will be resold regardless.
I like this line. Automakers that consistently launch the right vehicle in the right segment with the right powertrain at the right time gain share and make money. Those that lag don't. However, what I'm saying is, like, as a consumer, yes, if you provide what I need, I'm going to buy it. If you don't, if you try to, you should have this, but it doesn't fit what I want or it doesn't have high quality, you can't shove it at me.
Yeah, and that's the problem is the EV market basically tried to shove these things down our throat and people stopped buying them. Ford was sitting on Ford Lightnings that were over 2 years old, brand new, 0 miles, sitting on the lot because no one would touch them. That was a big, giant wake-up call to the industry. It really caused them to pull back and say, we can't do this. Because if we do, what's going to happen is we're going to tank our dealerships. And the dealerships started feeling the effects, but they're not done. The dealerships are still getting hit by not being able to get the number of volume of cars that they need to be able to sell to meet their franchise fee quotas. Most franchise fees have a quota. GM, they have to sell 1,000 cars a year. Some of these dealerships are
because it says Stellantis, person that's looking over this, because they have Stellantis injects a wild card into the game with its recent announcement of a flurry of new models coming for its 14 brands. This person calls it a discombobulated and disorganized strategy that will introduce a lot of new products, but the plan is not set up to be repeatable over 5 or 10 years and could disrupt an otherwise disciplined market, putting industry profits at risk.
Okay, the market is not disciplined. It's actually in chaos. So I'm going to argue with the person writing this article. This guy is an
I
idiot.
think it was back in the 80s and 90s, but not now.
No, it's not, because after the 2019 debacle, we basically have to look at this as a whole new way of doing business. And dealerships are falling behind. They're lagging in this new market system. When you can go online and you can order a brand new truck from GM and have it shipped to your dealership, that dealership does not actually take ownership or claim of that vehicle. You bought directly from GM. GM gets the credit for that, not the dealership.
He's warning slim pickings until 2029.
It's not even, it's not going to be slim pickings until 2029. This is going to radically change the industry, and we're going to see a fallout of dealerships. I'm not saying that the car brands are going to fail. This guy that's doing this article, he's an idiot. He's somebody from behind a computer keyboard warrior that has no clue what is happening in the market.
Yeah, I got one for you. This is going to blow you're going to go crazy.
All right.
Hybrids here to stay.
Like I said, this guy is an idiot.
Oh, shoot. Okay, there we go. We need a...
Oh, hell no!
That just proves they're not listening to the consumers.
No,
because there are some people, yes, that want the hybrids and the electric vehicles, but
that market share is so small that it's not even worth chasing anymore. That's why GM scaled all of their EV projects back to 1%. Why? Wake up, people. Stop falling behind. The truth is, EVs have failed. The hybrids are the next to fail because of the high repair cost. Nobody wants these hybrid systems. They're not benefiting anybody.
See, and I wonder if this is meant to influence what people buy, because it's got Tesla is rated as having the highest annual vehicle redesign rate and freshest lineup, but there's caveats. But then it says in descending order, the next best are Subaru, Hyundai, Honda, Kia, Mazda, Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, Toyota, BMW, Nissan, GM, Ford, and Stellantis. Stellantis is last.
All right, guys. If there is anyone working at any of these major companies that are happening to listen to my show right now, I'm going to give you the secret sauce to selling cars. All right?
Wait. Give me a second.
Stop the cap.
There is nothing new here, guys. Not one single thing is new. Here's the way to do it. Make a car. Stop giving us moving surveillance systems. Stop giving us big touchscreen TVs and self-driving POSs. Give us a car, steering wheel, motor, transmission, and make it to where the customer can work on it. Make us a car that we can fix, that we can work on. Restore the love in American-made vehicles. You want something that'll sell thousands and outsell your competitors? That's how you do it.
Chinese brands account for a third of the market in Mexico, are spreading in Europe, are coming to Canada, and will be in the US with cars and crossovers, mostly hybrids and EVs, around the end of the decade. Murphy says it is a question of when, not if.
Well, we all know Murphy's Law, so.
Yeah, isn't that funny? The guy coming up with these and saying, he's not the article writer, but the person that's looking at this, future thing is Murphy. And it's like, Murphy's a bitch. his last comment thing in here that I thought mentioned is Toyota seems to be the brand with the least to fear, leading roughly a dozen brands. MAPP deems to be in good shape.
So Toyota, back when Toyota was still ran by not necessarily the founder, because I think the person who was in charge of it was a son of the founder. He passed away. When he passed away, control went to the shareholders. The shareholders started doing a bunch of weird stuff, and they went against what would have been his wishes. Now they're starting to dial it back, and they're kind of getting back into the market that they belonged in. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I love Jay's comment. Make us a car that you don't have to use the touch screen to turn on the headlights. Here you go. Pro tip.
Make a freaking car. Not much of a pro tip. Guess what? Motor, transmission, drivetrain, seat, a steering wheel, and maybe heat and AC. I only say maybe because on some of your higher end exotic cars, they don't have AC. They're straight up sports cars made for speed and power. That's it.
Hey, this is America. It's hot.
I know.
Anyway, next one is Polestar will exit the US market in 2027, which we knew from the earlier article. So.
Yeah, that's a repeat.
Yep. Wow, that's unique looking vehicle there. Goodbye 718 GT4 RS. Hello 911 GT4R. This is Porsche's latest race car.
So it's, I don't know. Porsche likes to do weird stuff. They like to kill off platforms and then redesign them. And Nissan kind of gets tied into all of that mess as well. So, I mean, it's kind of their wheelhouse. I mean, there's nothing really to talk about here. They're constantly re-evolving all of their cars. I think there's been how many re-editions of the 911? It's no surprise from Porsche that they would do just kill off a car and make a redesign of an old car. AKA, we recycle the names a lot. Okay. Next.
Once upon a time, GM was roasted for an ignition switch disaster. Now it says safety is always number one.
Guys, remember how I told you the thumbnail of the video? Yeah, this is what this was about. So GM wants to claim safety first, safety first, safety first. Then tell me why you guys have had bag issues, why you guys have had other safety related issues to electric steer, why you guys have had brake failure issues, and the most important recently, engine failure issues while it's going down the road. Do not ever think we are going to forget about your mistake of the 6.2 liter and it shelling the crankshaft out while going down the highway. So they're trying to do a PR stunt to save face because they have cut corners to save cost, and it's come back to bite them many times.
I love how it's the CEO says it's the number one thing I talk about at meetings and events. I worked at a certain company that's pretty big, known throughout the world, and they talked about safety too. And then when we reported stuff, it was, how do we get you to work? It was, safety is so important to us, and then don't bother me, get back to work. So saying and doing two different things.
Safety is a mindset and a culture that has to be instilled in everyone who works for the company. So if somebody on the ground level who deals with the stuff every day comes up to a manager and says, hey, this airbag's gonna fail, how about we figure this out now before we send these cars out? If they're choosing to then turn around and say, no, we don't worry about that, you just go ahead and put that bag in there. If their attitude is put the fries in the bag, guess what? That's why we have recalls. That's why Ford is leading industry in recalls, because of an attitude of that.
Exactly. Jay says the ignition switch crisis happened like 10 years ago.
Yep. And actually, it goes much farther back than that. Even my GTO has an ignition issue. This thing has an ignition issue. I fixed the one in this one because it was simple. I could just simply disconnect it and not have to worry about the key getting locked into the ignition. So that was an easy fix. The GTO, on the other hand, is a massive electrical problem and a gremlin that is crawling so far up my back right now, it's not even funny. So, yeah, part of me would consider possibly getting rid of the GTO to go get a ZL1 Camaro. I ain't got 30 grand to toss around like it's nothing.
You said the Camaro isn't a Camaro anymore.
This one would be, I did locate one, and I was trying to compare it against the GTO, just cost-wise for build. And that one was $34,000 for a 2013 ZL1. Came with the manual, had a good motor and transmission setup. It was a done car with over 630 some horsepower. It was literally get in, drive, done. I would not have had to do a single thing to that car, and I could have had a blast with it. Here's the problem. It was $34,000, and the GTO market value, I might pull 19 with it right now, meaning I'm going to have to take a loan, and that's not something I want to do. That gets into my topic about loans and the repossession, guys. So, time to cook. Here it is. When it comes down to it, vehicles are being repossessed at a high rate. Why? Because people are failing to make payments. When the average vehicle payment is well over $700 a month, this puts car payments nearly on par with mortgage payments. If you had bought a house in the last 10 years, your mortgage payment is close to what your car payment is. This is why cars are being repossessed. This is why there's going to be a market collapse. This is why we talked about this article, about the markets collapsing, because the dealerships are going to feel the hit. What's going to happen is there's going to be a switch in the industry. They're going to go from dealers being the main source to buy cars to the manufacturer being the main source of selling cars and the dealerships being a service center. They will not be the main focus of sales in the future. That market and that scaling of that setup is dead. It's not working, and it will not work anymore. Manufacturers are going to sell directly to customers. Customers are then going to come and pick up their car from the dealership, where the dealership will service their car, but their sales are going to be more or less polished customer people just handing you the keys after they've basically gone through it when it came to the dealership.
This is an article that's very like, see how much we've come and how much safety is important. They show one vehicle from the 80s and then what we have for safety features now. And this time of year, between Memorial Day to Labor Day, there are still about 40,000 fatalities per full year, but it says this is the deadliest automotive days of the year, spanning from Memorial Day to Labor Day. So it really seems a piece that's like, we understand the importance for safety and we are jacking it up for you. But I'd kind of argue if there are some things that back in the day were unsafe in cars and vehicles, but how much is it that it's necessary and how much is actually hurting your ability to fix your own cars and such?
Mm-hmm. And what this comes down to is it's a way for them to jack up prices even more and sell you an even more expensive car for the sake of your safety. It's a way for them to pad their pocketbooks and still claim that they're being safe. Guys, I've never bought this theory from GM. I don't subscribe to it at all. It is full marketing. And what I would watch for in the next 2 years there's going to be a massive recall on something safety related from GM. They're trying to get out ahead of this. They're trying to market themselves and get out ahead of this curve that they know is coming. When you've been in the industry as long as I have, you will understand when a manufacturer is trying to get ahead of a problem. That's what this sounds like to me. It really does sound like they're trying to get ahead of a massive safety recall that is going to embarrass the company. And that's what's coming.
Last one for Motor Trend. Tesla still rules America's most made in USA cars. But here's who's catching up. Now, made or bought, because doesn't it matter that if you don't buy it, it's not on the road, it's just piling up, right?
Yes, but here's what they're trying to market as. They're trying to market as we are more American made than any other car. I would argue, are you American made or American assembled?
Good point, because it says, okay, the underneath.
Again, I called it.
You freaking called it. 2026 American Made Index. Tesla leads, Honda makes history, Jeep surges. All are at least partially assembled here, with the US Canadian content determining the degree of domesticity.
And also, when you look at the majority of parts on a vehicle and you take something apart, you would be astonished by how many are stamped either Japan or Mexico, because that's where the parts are being made. Why? Because they're able to get cheap labor. Cheap labor means they can make parts. A lot of your aftermarket parts, when you go to an auto parts store, will either say China, Taiwan, Japan, or Mexico. Right there. They're the ones making the parts, guys. Those parts get imported in. If you import in all the parts of a car and you just assemble the car here, it's not made in the USA. It's
Some of
assembled.
that, in my opinion, is the unions, because yes, there was a time where unions were necessary, but OSHA is
And battleground and proving ground stuff on the track. That doesn't happen anymore. Cars are built nowadays with absolutely no testing, no oversight, no practice. They don't know what's going to happen when new models get released. That's why I tell you guys, don't ever buy first-year model vehicles. Ever. Because they're trash.
it says cars.com does the list, and nobody has ever made 100%.
Well, you could even argue that even during Henry Ford's day, it really technically was never 100% made in the USA, because he bought crops over, or trying to remember if it was Brazil. I want to say it was Brazil. He bought land in Brazil that basically he was able to make rubber from the trees there.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing something
So
about that.
he bought that. So technically, not even he would have been 100% made in the USA, because his tires were basically being made out of country and shipped in.
Tesla tops the list since 2021 with first and second. And then Honda Acura holds five top 10 spots. Jeep is the biggest mover. Now, this actually doesn't surprise me, because just looking, you kind of look around and Jeep seems to actually be building
It's
vehicles that work and less hybrids, and you almost want to buy more of those.
all right. I got to strike you down on that, though, because you don't know the backstory. Jeep is owned by Stellantis.
That's true.
Stellantis is an EV car company. They need to position their brand here in the US.
Ah, okay.
The only way to do that is to build the brand that they bought as the shell company to sell their cars.
That's why you come here. I ask questions and he gives you the true facts.
Straight up.
Don't forget to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button so you know when we're live next. And lots of questions. We love questions and comments and chatting together.
Yep.
Kia Sportage drops furthest. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It's Kia. Kia is in a troubled spot right now because they are one of the highest stolen vehicles next to the Chevy Colorado or the Chevy Silverado and the Chevy Camaro. Camaro actually topped one of the highest stolen vehicles. So if I would have bought in a ZL1 and I didn't put some protection on it, there was a good chance that somebody would have tried to steal that car. And I'm kind of wondering if the GTO was maybe somebody had tried to get in and mess with it because I have issues with the key. So I do have to fix that on the GTO.
Top Ford vehicles advances 10 spots. The electric F-150 Lightning was the brand's highest ranking model last year, and the year before its best was the Mustang. But this year, the Lincoln Navigator ranks number 12, followed by the Ford Expedition in 13th, and then the Lincoln in 14th, and Ford Explorer in 15th.
That's because that was a very biased list. And if you guys don't follow the
It's
automotive,
cars.com.
yeah, very biased list. They were pushing the EV market big time up until.
So don't use cars.com apparently. No.
Yeah, well, cars.com might be a place to look for new cars when they're selling, but I wouldn't necessarily.
Trust what they say is popular.
Right. So I would not bank what they're promoting because they get their money from sponsorships.
Ah.
And their
They can be bought.
sponsorships, yes, they are being bought. They are being bought by the EV companies. They're the ones shelling them tons of money.
Pardon me.
So always follow the money, guys. That is my tip of the day. Follow the money. If you follow the money, you'll find out where the market is going.
And that's a pro tip for life, not just cars.
Correct.
GM places more cars on the list this year. However, their highest ranked is at 25, which is 6 spots down from last year.
That's because GM is going through a bit of turmoil when it comes to market shares. They flip-flopped on EV so bad that people can't trust their brand. They've made some bad products, especially in the LS engines, the 5.3 with the massive amount of lifter ticks, the 6.2 with the breaking of crankshafts. They've lost a huge market share because their oversight and their quality control isn't where it needs to be. So just know if you guys are buying one of these vehicles, be prepared that these could be costs that'll come up and bite you in the butt.
It asks where are Rivian and Lucid? I'm not sure what that is.
they're-
Rivian says look for it to debut on the list next year
Yes.
when it can be counted. It couldn't be counted this year. It says what this list can't tell you. This list is all about the people assembling the parts and the geographic source of the components themselves. It says because it's American made is what they're saying. It says nothing about where the profits from these sales ends up. It also doesn't give any credit for foreign assembled cars with high US Canadian parts content, like perhaps the Mexican made Ford Maverick, Bronco Sport, or Mach-E.
Yep, like I told you, guys, a lot of parts are being built overseas. They get shipped into the US for assembly. It is assembled in the US, not made in the US. Make sure you guys understand that difference and make sure you spot the companies that are using that false advertisement to sell you products. And this isn't just cars, guys. It's everything, clothing, electronics, it doesn't matter. Look at the company, look at what they're saying. If they say made in the US, but most of their stuff is stamped with parts from overseas, they're not, they're lying to you.
All right. So now we'll go to the drive. Oh, that's funny. The top story. Honda and Toyota took 6 of the top 10 or the 10 spots on this year's American made vehicle list.
Yep, we will go ahead and skip that one.
There is an added thing here though. 71% of consumers think F-150 is the most American-made pickup. It ranked 27th.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, it does have that advertisement though that this is an American truck, you know?
Yeah,
So
well,
you would think it would be, but
false advertisement, guys. Always pay
Ooh.
attention to false advertisement.
we got a video game one. Clutch drops an hour of gameplay showcasing street racing and story.
Ah, yes, I did hear about this one earlier in the week, guys. So, what they're trying to do is bring back some of the nostalgic cars from our automotive history, including a few of the cars from the Fast and the Furious movies.
Hmm.
And what they're trying to do is get people enthusiastic about building these cars and driving these cars. But the problem is, it's only a video game. And don't get me wrong, I like playing video games every once in a while myself. I don't get as much time as I want or would like to. The truth is, this is just giving you a taste into the industry. It's not actually what's going on out there in the real world. So when you play this video game, understand that it is going to be glamorized just like those movies were. So it will not give you real factual data or anything that you can use in your real life cars.
So enjoy, but caveat.
Yes.
That's your advice. Pro tip. Oh, interesting. Are front bench seats making a comeback in cars? I mean, I just haven't seen them in a while, so.
Yeah, I don't know if they really are going to do that though, because a lot of the newer cars are smaller and compact.
Yeah, you
Everything
should
is
see
kinda
this picture.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good look. It's not going to be really beneficial because most people have gotten used to having the center console with all the storage. That goes away once you have a bench.
Again, you should see the picture.
Yeah, I can about imagine. I'm picturing the Kia Soul with a bench seat in it.
Yeah, it's almost like that's where you would put the kid, except
Yeah,
I would never put it like that's the size, but I would never put a kid there because
yeah.
you don't want them to get hurt.
It's honestly, you can go ahead and sell that idea right now because that ain't gonna fly.
Speaking of safety, F1 news. Inside the globe-trotting tent that broadcasts F1 around the world every weekend.
Yeah, it's F1 stuff, guys. Just know that a lot of F1 stuff is basically supercar stuff. So whatever they test on the F1 cars, you might see some of it in the exotics, but they will never make it to normal street use. And the reason I can say that is because a lot of the stuff that they do in those race cars, they are not allowed to do on the street. So just know that one isn't something that we should pay much attention to. Yes. What do we got?
Jay says that's never going to work, and there's no airbags for the middle seat.
Correct.
That's
Correct.
a good point.
Yep. Good point there, Jay.
The downshift, the new Hyundai Elantra actually goes kind of hard. I love how it's like actually goes kind of hard. Like what?
Kind of.
Yeah, like they're surprised, so it's like it looks like it's gonna be pathetic or something.
It's pathetic.
Just saying, it doesn't give you much hope where it's like it actually is kinda. And you're just like, I don't feel excited. Okay, culture. Domestic violence law has California car dealers sweating July stop sale deadline. I'm going to have to look into that one. New digital privacy protection requirements in California might force dealers to turn customers away next week unless the state legislature acts.
This is what I talked to you guys about the digital cage. So now they had passed a law in California that keeps the dealerships from selling people cars if they were domestic abusers or anything like that.
This
So,
says would-be electronic stalkers.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so You got computers in your cars, or you get to be safe. That's
Yep,
the
the
difference.
digital prison is closing, guys, and we don't have much time left. And the reality of the situation is I would not buy anything 2020 or newer. I wouldn't.
It's interesting though. California's trying to. It's like, yeah, we care about people not getting stalked, but then the vehicles. So it's
Yeah,
like,
the vehicles themselves are stalking
yeah.
people. So hypocrites much?
I mean, I don't think they think when they write these things at times. It's like, well, that sounds good. It's like the cancer thing. Everything has to be, it was just more affordable to label it that everything has cancer. So they probably meant well to save people, but then it never turns out that way. So it's like, you guys got to think about this more. Like, put it in detail of what actually has it in there.
Yeah, but that would mean we have to use our brain and use logic, and that just doesn't happen.
Right? Deals. Hilarious gas can shaped party speaker. You heard that right? Is cheap
Yeah.
enough to impulse buy during Amazon Prime Day. This is what we're talking about on a car news.
Guys, you need to get your shit together.
Culture. Feds killed Polestar and spared Volvo. That should terrify you.
Again, this is talking about Polestar leaving, which is the EV car company. Volvo is trying to enter the EV market, but Volvo has way more shares in the US than what Polestar ever could, because Volvo also does semis
Ooh.
and trucks. So that's why they would back that company versus Polestar, which is basically a new car company. So they don't have the market share to be able to do what they need to do there. And when it comes down to it, this article is very clickbaity. It is trying to get you to react emotionally to the government doing something, but the government didn't do anything. What happened was people responded to the market. The reason that this company is leaving is because they don't have market shares. They don't have people lining up to buy their car.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It has zero to do with the government. Again, emotional manipulation out of this article.
And look into data first.
Yeah.
Find out what actually happened. And then if it warrants emotional response, then we have the emotional response.
Correct.
Okay, Hyundai and Kia want to sanitize car interiors with UV light. The Korean automakers supersized the same tech that cleans phones and toothbrushes to clean entire vehicle cabins.
You guys missed the mark. COVID was in 2019. We don't need this now.
Does that come standard?
No, it's an option they're going to make you pay for. Next.
Ian Callum didn't design the Jaguar XJ220, but this is what it would look like if he did. Okay, so now we're just coming up with shit.
Yeah,
That doesn't exist.
pulling things out of our butt.
Okay, what a waste of time. I mean, it's cool if you want to imagine, but it's not actual news. Old versus new Chevy Blazer crash test shows how much safety has improved since the 90s. Oh, here we are pushing it on every news channel.
Again, it's all done because they're trying to get out ahead of the problem. GM realizes that they made a mistake somewhere, and they know this is going to blow up in their face within 1 year's time. 2 tops. There's going to be a massive safety recall coming out of the GM camp. Guys, I'm calling it now. It's going to happen. They're trying to get out ahead of the safety game because they realize they made a giant mistake.
Weird experiment. This Hot Wheels car on the screen pictured drove 13,459 scale miles in 5 days. A 1-64 Ford GT40 achieved a mighty endurance feat while running on a makeshift rolling road.
AKA a treadmill.
It's like there's not enough news.
Yeah, we're just
This was posted hours ago,
yeah, we're
so
just
that's
making
the
stuff
weird.
up.
Okay, so now let me see. We already talked about that.
You know, news is slow when they're doing this, but the problem is that I'm able to pick apart their news articles and tell you guys where the lies are. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. You will not get this anywhere else. Most content creators, guys, run from these topics. And the reason they run is because this is a black labeled topic, meaning that once you tip into these topics the way I'm doing them, oftentimes the algorithm hates you.
So remember how we were talking about under Motor Trend 2027 GMC Sierra, and they were boosting it up and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
At least that article said bigger engine size and stuff. This one's pushing all entertainment. 2027 GMC Sierra gets even fancier with articulating screen and headrest speakers. The new GMC Halfton also gets a pair of next-gen small block V8s like the 2027 Chevy Silverado. So I guess it's kind of in there, but they're going more for the entertainment to get you to click on it.
Guys, it's a digital prison. Don't buy them. Let this crap sit on the dealer's lots.
Either that or be prepared for the dealers to fix everything.
Not only
Like
not only fix everything, but realize every piece of information that is gathered by those cameras or by you driving it will be sold. It will be gathered. Your privacy is gone. And if you ever make a mistake that they don't like, that vehicle will be locked down. I promise you.
And things that you can't fix yourself always cost more.
Yep.
All those things. Oh, Polestar again. F1 again. Can Ferrari and Hamilton stop either Mercedes driver this weekend? Will Mercedes continue to dominate in Austria, or have the mechanical failures in Canada and Barcelona revealed Brackley's Achilles heel?
Depends. It depends on if the race team was able to identify where the heel was and if they were even able to put a Band-Aid on it. In racing, sometimes if you notice you have a fatal flaw, you can fix it by putting patchwork into it. And especially if it's something electronic, they can put in safeguards to keep it from getting into that range or that zone. Sometimes it means they have to limit RPM. Sometimes it's they need to increase more oil in order to lubricate parts better. There is a science to this, and there is ways to fix many of these automotive mechanical problems. Some of the electronical problems require a very advanced level understanding of electronics in computers. And without it, you don't have the ability to make adjustments on the fly. There are many, many very advanced technicians that sit behind computers, and all they do is analyze the data from previous races to figure out what they can do in the next race to maybe avoid an engine failure or avoid parts wear that are not expected. So this is what modern day racing has become.
Quite a lovely patchwork on the we got Slate's electric truck again, and this is just pushing it. I rode in Slate's electric truck. It didn't feel like a cheaper electric truck, but it's written by a woman, so not that women can't, but
yeah, there's probably some bias-y there. So that's a very fair statement to make. Honestly, when it comes down to car reviews, if the person has never had a wrench in their hand, I don't believe their review. I hate to be that callous and cold about it, but it has to be the truth. If you have never turned a single wrench and you're reviewing a car, you're only going to review the comfort part of the car. You're not going to review the mechanics of it. You're not going to understand how those parts work together and what makes that car a car.
okay, I'm really hating the drive today. Toyota might steal GM's US sales crown thanks to hybrids. Could they be pushing this any harder?
Drive, since when did you guys become Motor Trend? Because that's the route the Motor
Seriously.
Trend would have played. Even Motor Trend has backed off the EV slight. I mean, not completely, but
They're not in your face.
they're not blatantly trying to shove it down your throat. Wow, Drive, get it together.
This is why you don't do loyalty to just one. You got to read.
Yeah, this is why we read other ones. Plus, when we do it this way, guys, you're able to see how these pieces move together. You're able to see how they can push a scenario or a narrative to get you to buy something that ultimately in 2 years you're going to hate because they were able to market. And the reason they're able to market like this is because they're being paid by these car companies to do so. Just know their money comes from their advertisers.
This one I'm only mentioning because next time there's a Prime Day and they let us know ahead of time, we should think about doing what you think is worth buying. Prime Day car detailing deals, products under $20 that are really worth buying. And here are my picks for super low cost bargains from brands we use ourselves. I think we should consider that next Prime Day.
Yeah, I'll consider that. So I'll tell you guys a few things that I use on cars that I would highly recommend. Number one, Maxell One. Maxell One is a really great wax, quick detail spray that you can put onto your paint and really make it look good. 2 vehicles right now in our fleet run Maxell One. I have done it on Big Red, our 2013 Silverado, and I've done it on our 04 Pontiac GTO LS Goat. When I take it through a car wash, the water beads up on the paint instantly. When I go through the air dryer, it removes all the water on the vehicle. Here's the bad thing about Maxell One. After you've gone through that car wash, you need to get out and wipe the car or you'll get hard water spots because they don't use soft water in car washes. It's too expensive.
Let's see if you would agree with these. Mother's California Gold Ceramic Spray and Rinse Wax. Mother's 5-inch microfiber polishing pads.
Yeah. Only if you're going to get really carried away and polish a paint, which you're going to be sanding it, wet sanding it, polishing, buffing. That
Would you
requires
say,
a whole
like-
laundry list of tools. That is not a quick thing.
Would you call it a good quality though? Because he's saying his pads are always getting wrecked or stolen by his dog or that. So
Well,
he's
stolen
grabbing
by
them
the-
while they're half priced.
Stolen by the dog is not problem of the pad. It's the problem of you controlling your pet. But
Right. So that's why I'm asking, is it good quality or is it just that it's affordable? What would you say?
probably just that it's affordable, but understand a deal like that requires way more tools. So
Do you think it's a good quality pad?
I mean, it's a pad is a pad depending on what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
The important thing is to buy the right pad for the right situation.
Okay. Chemical Guy's Grubby Edge Pet Hair Removal Tool.
Yawn.
Like it's not good quality?
Sometimes you can do the same thing with a lint roller.
Okay.
Or they make special combs that you can use, or even special gloves that'll remove pet hair out of cars.
Lexol 2-step leather kit.
It's decent, but
Okay.
it's not something I would write home about. It's not high priority buy.
Jay Leno's Garage All-Purpose Cleaner Car Detail Spray.
Maxell One is better.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Nixing the Jay Leno.
Yep.
The
Don't
man
get me
has
wrong,
how
he's
many cars?
He's got a great car collection, but when it comes down to it, he is selling a product.
If phones are killing pedestrians, why is it only happening in America?
Because we're too stupid to put the phone down.
Well, let's see. They're telling us to just be entertained. So we're so stuck on entertain that we just look at our phones
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. And plus, what happens when you put so much electronics in cars? You're creating the entertainment culture. They're actually feeding into this. Get rid of the touch screens. Put old school gauges back in cars. Get rid of the technology in cars so that people put their phones down and drive their car. Make a car that you actually have to drive it.
I would make a point that there's a big difference between Europe and America. America, we drive further. We have open spaces.
We drive faster.
Europe, they tend to really not drive and use public transportation.
Mm-hmm. You guys got to remember, like, the majority of Europe, such as Great Britain and stuff, the land size that they're on is very small compared to the size of the US.
Yeah, Israel is the size of New Jersey.
Yeah. Just to give you guys a little bit of reference.
I know that's not Europe, but you know.
Yeah. So when you get overseas land size, they don't have very much. Most of the European countries would fit inside Texas.
Just interesting the way you said that. Oh, a lot of Amazon Prime. Okay. Ford drops V8 from top spec F-150 King Ranch Platinum. If you're in the market for a highfalutin Ford half-ton, you'll have to be okay with an EcoBoost V6.
So it's not an EV.
You'll have to settle.
But you'll have to settle for an eco boom that's going to blow up on you.
Boom.
Just because of the fact that that particular engine is not very durable. I've known very many owners who have replaced their V6 Ecotechs in their pickups because they're working them too hard and the turbos go out. So
85-year-old arrested for allegedly street racing his Nissan Z. Grandpa's got the need for speed.
just proof that once this gets in your blood, it will never get out.
85 years. Hey, you still going, you know?
Yep, that would have been, he would have grown up in the era of the actual street racing, the original old school muscle street racing cars. We're talking cars of the 60s and 70s.
Nice.
So he knew street racing when it was street racing. When the cops would tell you, go home, not, oh, you went 30 over the speed limit? How about you come out of your car and go into the back of mine? And I'll give you a one-way trip down to the police station. Because that's what happens. The Fast and the Furious setup, guys, honestly destroyed street racing as we knew it. And the reason why is because when people saw those movies, they instantly gravitated towards that atmosphere. They glamorized it, and it started pushing people into street racing. People got hurt. People were racing in residential areas like dummies. And what happened is many laws were passed saying that if you go more than 30 miles an hour over the speed limit, you are going to be charged with a charge of attempted vehicular manslaughter, which carries prison time. So just know if you're going to go out and do stupid stuff, that's some of the risk you run.
This one is kind of like, okay, you're too late, but like this has been going for a while, but it's a good reminder. License plate cameras are tracking your life without a warrant. The cameras are already out there, already collecting, and there's no setting, no law, and no off switch that can stop them.
Correct. Part of that digital surveillance that I was talking about. That is all part of the digital trap. And here's what some people, powerful, rich people, are banking on. They are banking on another COVID situation because this will give them the ability to lock us all down. And they are going to use the cameras. They are going to use our vehicles. They're going to use everything at their disposal to lock us down. So just be warned, this is what's coming.
And I know some people say, oh, you're just a worrywart. But if there's nothing to stop them, there's nothing to, so I'd rather be a prevent.
Pay attention to what has happened and ask yourself, how far and how easy could it go that way again?
Exactly. The Honda Element, yes, we already talked about that on the drive.
Or on Motor Trend.
Or, sorry, yeah, the other one. Texas real estate guy wants to make a $21,500 truck. He got 5,500 reservations in 6 days. With a passion for simple, easy-to-fix Toyotas, Zach DeBernardi and his company, Rio, hope to deliver a new solution that's still gas-powered.
I give him props, and I really hope he's successful because remember what I told you. Give us a vehicle, give us a car, give us a truck. Take the electronics out. You take the electronics out of these vehicles, and these vehicles will drop $40,000 overnight.
I'm surprised he's made it to having an article about it because I've seen, companies that just like squash this before he even gets to this point.
Depends on if he can play the game good enough, because that's what it's going to come down to. The major auto manufacturers are not going to let you into the market. You are going to have to fight to get into this market.
They will demand Congress make laws to squash you.
Yep, they are pushing this
Regulations.
digital prison, guys. Make no mistake, when it comes down to the digital prison in the future, Ford, Stellantis, and GM are all on board with this crap. Don't trust them.
All right. Remember, hit that like button, smash subscribe so you know when we go live next. And apparently we have to hit all, right?
When you ring the notification bell, make sure you guys click all, because if you don't click all, what happens is people are not getting notified. It is the newest thing that YouTube is doing. Make sure you guys ring that notification bell and select all. That way you get notified every time I drop either a short video on a repair or post that we are going live. Plus, you guys will get notifications if you guys are subscribed. So,
next one, 2026 McLaren 750S Spider review. Proof that supercars should still be punishing.
here's the thing. We've already punched past certain barriers in supercar status that at this point, it's not even a race to the top. It's a race for who's going to be second. Supercars have already punched to their highest potential that we can currently see. They've already done everything they possibly can. So just know that companies like Bugatti or Chiron and Porsche, BMW, Audi, McLaren, these companies have already pushed the envelope as far as it can possibly go. Now it's just a matter of who's going to be in second place.
Toyota and Nissan admit their American-made cars may have thin paint, panel gaps, and leftover residue.
This is because they're trying to make cheap cars. The cheaper you make it, there's a reason that it's cheap. This is why we use the word cheap, not affordably priced. So if it is cheap, how did we get it cheap? Did we thin out our paint? Did we not check our gapping on our door panels and on our rocker panels? Or did we just toss it together with spare parts that we had laying around from different cars? This is how we make it cheap. Know the difference, guys. There's a difference between quality and affordable and cheap.
I don't know if we said this too, but you can throw in questions that you have of your
Your vehicle.
Your projects. That's the word.
Yep, your projects. Yeah, go ahead, guys. Get your questions in now. We're probably going to be switching over to the Q&A section here in a little bit.
Yeah, just want to be prepared.
Yep.
Ready. So now this was not the woman who reviewed it. This is a guy. Slate's electric truck gets more range, more tow capacity, and 450 more pounds.
So in other words, they're saying they went EV, they gained a little bit more in mileage range, but they added a bunch of weight to the vehicle.
But we gave you this.
And as you add more weight, you'll lower your range because it's heavier. Guys, some of the EV supporters, you guys are out of your mind. You have no concept of an automotive capability or what purpose it has. You guys will preach that EV is the solution for everything when it is the solution for nothing. And what it takes to mine these minerals, to make these batteries, you guys would be astonished at how much diesel fuel is burned by the equipment used to mine out the platinum, the cobalt, the silvers, all of these precious minerals, the brass, just how much you have to strip mine the earth. They literally peel tops of the soil off to get down to.
Here's the thing. There is, here in our state in Minnesota, they're trying to have a mine startup to help with some of that stuff. And the company is trying to show proof that they are going to do it in the most environmental way possible.
It's not possible.
But at least, they're looking in. And yet, here where American companies are trying at least, and are showing the proof of what they're trying to do, and people are all up in arms, but China can do it in their just get the shit out of the ground way, and everybody's fine with it.
That's because when it happens somewhere else in the world, we don't care. And that should give you an indication on where your politicians are at. If they're okay with us destroying the earth because it's 3,000 miles away, you really should question where their loyalty is, because it isn't with the people, and especially the people that they're throwing in these holes to get the minerals out. You want to talk about human rights violations? Boy, can we get into it when it comes to those precious minerals, because they don't care about the people they're throwing in the hole to get the stuff out.
Actions speak louder than words.
Correct.
If you are worried about climate change and the seas are going to overflow, and then you buy a mansion on the ocean, on the beach, you really don't believe that, do you?
Yeah, you're a hypocrite trying to sell fear and get people to listen and do what you tell them to do. And
don't fall for it.
Yeah, don't fall for it, guys. Pay attention to the lies, see where they're at, and learn to say no. The best advice I could ever give someone. The reason we do this news, guys, and why we need to continue doing the news here in the future is you guys need to see the lies. The more you see the lies, the more you wake up to how much you're being lied to, and the more you can easily say no to a lot of stuff.
Frankly, it seems like people in Congress do not have the knowledge of either automotive or tech or whatever. So then they fall for this stuff, and they rely on the very people, the businesses, the vehicle companies, all this stuff to make the laws and regulations, which either stops small business vehicle companies to start up, which takes away free market and real capitalism, true capitalism. So it's, if we educate ourselves and we can educate and tell our congressmen what we think about it, there's a better chance that there's more freedom for everybody.
Yeah, and when it comes down to it, guys, you have to remember that a lot of these politicians are also being paid behind the scenes to pass certain laws, meaning that through special interest groups, they are getting money. And some of these special interest groups are supporting the big three: GM, Ford, and Stellantis. Call it Stellantis now because it's no longer Jeep, Ram, or Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. It's no longer that company. It is Stellantis. So they are getting money from the big three to pass certain laws. Of course, they're going to support new tech. Why? Because they make the most money from the big tech. So every time we see articles that are revolving around tech, wake up. Because that tech is how we're going to be trapped, how we're going to be locked down to where our vehicles aren't going to be vehicles anymore. All you guys need to know is how to see the lie, how to spot the lie, and then say no.
I'm sure Bad Wrench, when it comes down the road, specific things that you can do, he will say that too.
Correct.
Rivian has long wanted to put a winch on the R1. RAD might finally make it happen. And you're laughing already, so I'm guessing not going to happen.
No, it's pointless. You're going to put a winch on an EV that the car itself weighs more than what they're probably going to put the weight rating on the winch. So all you're going to do is have a winch on there that you're going to be able to tow someone else out because you're heavy enough to be the anchor, but you're not actually going to be able to tow your own vehicle out because it's going to be too heavy. Plus, what this is going to do is teach people with EVs, hey, I could just pull myself out. Let me tie off around this tree. Your car weighs 7,000 pounds. You're going to rip the tree out of the ground. Bad idea. Bad idea. I can see so many.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Man driving giant banana. Yes, there's a picture. Gets pulled over in Montana. The banana, which is based on a Ford F-150, has the license plate split. I mean, it's fun.
Gotta give it to them for trying to invent something, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I like unique vehicles.
It's like the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. There were so many of them around, and then they slowly started dwindling down, and recently one had crashed. So yeah, that was kind of entertaining. But yeah, they don't have any safety features in those at all.
I mean, we already had this, so I don't know why. It's like the other one was on the 24th. This is on the 23rd. It was posted. Cops are already using license plate readers to stalk people, and the systems have already been abused.
Yeah. Guys, it's no news that we live in a digital surveillance society. It is what it is. We have to learn to navigate through that society now. And the way we navigate through it is by keeping low profiles. Don't draw massive attention to your vehicle. But on that aspect, remember, speed is the one thing they're going to pull you over for. Don't speed. Because the more you speed, the more they're going to look at you. Also, make sure all your lights work. That's another huge flag for them. If you have lights out and you're speeding, that's a double whammy. You are getting pulled over for sure.
Don't make yourself a target.
Pretty much. That's the best way I can say it. Stop making yourself target.
Another Prime Day. Okay. Another deal. Prime Day. Another Prime Day on scanners.
Let's go ahead and switch over to any questions.
See. I mean, I'm waiting. There's not questions. That's why I keep going. But once I see questions, I promise.
How long are we in so far?
We have 8 minutes left.
Okay.
75% more pedestrians have been killed since 2009. Giant trucks and SUVs are a major reason. Okay, in their opinion. Maybe it's drivers who get trucks and don't know how to drive it.
Or people that don't know how to drive because we don't teach them how to physically drive anymore because we rely on computers and AI to do everything for us. Guys, I know.
Oh, here we go.
I know I'm preaching.
Half of American adults would frequently be knocked to the ground in front of today's average vehicle. Okay, so it's not even that, like maybe in the article, I haven't clicked on that to be fair, but just to say even they would be frequently knocked to the ground in front of today's average vehicle is already assuming things. Kind of like when I looked up, I don't know if you guys out there noticed this, but
fear.
SUVs, they're not actually the height off the ground. There's usually a thing in front So I'm like, well, it's a car then, because I need more
Ground
off the
clearance.
ground because ground clearance because we have lots of snow here at times. So I'm like, well, it's not actually off the ground then.
Yep.
And I looked into it, and apparently it was a safety thing that somebody could be trapped underneath. And I'm like, well, if you drive safely, like, so it's not an SUV to me anymore because of that. So it's kind of like that.
We're making cars to basically say, hey, guess what? We realize you're going to be dumb. We realize you can't be trusted. So we're going to idiot proof these cars for you. But the truth of the matter is, they're not benefiting anyone because they're still not making a car.
This is what drives me crazy because you have the Christians who are like, every life is precious. However, y'all need to learn from your mistakes. And yet on the other side, you have the theory that, you know, survival of the fittest, except we're not actually going to abide by that belief because we dumb down for everybody. So it's not survival of the fittest, it's survival of the weakest.
It's survival of the idiots through mindless gimme, 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 rather than actually doing anything beneficial.
Okay, we have about 5 minutes left. Get your questions in.
Get them in. Guys, this has been a really good episode. Thank you
enjoyed it.
again, Jay, for the super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you for our producer modding him up again with his new channel.
You're welcome.
So thank you guys. This has been a really great show. Make sure you guys check out our merch at fourthwall.com down below. Click that link. It takes you to Fourth Wall. You'll see our banner page there. When you click on it, then you know it's from us.
If you're in the chat, exit out, and then one of the tabs that are along the top, it will say shopping.
Yep.
Click on that.
And it'll show some items that we have down there. We have hats, shirts, hoodies, drink cups, and stickers.
If you click on the channel, the icon for the channel, then yes, you scroll down and it'll have the shop.
Yep. But yes, guys,
Different places to get it.
make sure you guys check out Fourth Wall for all of our merch, all of our branding stuff. You guys are seeing me wear the merch right now that you guys can buy. We did do a redesign of the hat, guys. So rather than having the big banner here, we now have a center logo, and then it says the name on either side of the hat.
The other sticker's not on there though, right?
No, it's not on there.
Okay.
So
Just because you have a sticker on.
yeah, we do have stickers on there that you can get just the logo. You can get
No, you have a
logo
sticker
and
on
the
your
name.
hat.
Yeah, well, this one?
Yeah.
Well, this is just the hat branding.
Okay.
So this is just the hat branding. This comes off. I could peel that off right now. I keep it on there so you guys see how you would get it when you guys buy. But this is the shirt right here and the back. So
Very nice.
that is the
My
shirt.
opinion.
The hoodie looks almost identical, only it's the hoodie with the front pocket because it's the one I designed. Because if I was to buy a hoodie, I like having the pocket to put my phone in, keys, or something like that. I don't suggest keys because if they fall out, if you don't hear them, you'll lose your keys. So put your keys in your pocket.
And I think we have small to 5X.
Yes, small to 5X. So we do have them in your size. The drink cups, I do not have my drink cup out here today. I was not very good, but normally
Two
I don't
sizes,
have
though.
this. We have two sizes of drink cups, of 44 and I believe a
22.
22. So those
I know,
are,
because that's mine.
yep, that's the two sizes that we have. The 44 fits like half of this bottle. So
All right, I think this is going to be the last one. Toyota RAV4 base truck is quite appealing, top engineer says. There are no plans currently for a RAV4 base truck, but deep in our heart of hearts, it would be fun, a top RAV4 engineer said. I like that idea because the RAV4 is like appealing, but I'd like something a little higher off the ground. But then I really want American made cars too.
yeah. And when it comes down to it, the reason that they went away from that kind of design is Back then, they were trying to save cost. So what they did was reused a lot of parts. Prime example, the GMC Jimmy was made from a lot of different parts. These fenders you could find on the pickups, you could find them on the Blazer and on the Jimmy. So they were able to reuse fenders, reuse doors, reuse multiple different platforms would use the parts. The rear axle in this truck is out of a Camaro, meaning that they took the Camaro rear axle and bolted it into one of these, which is why the track is off on it and why you have to run spacers to fix your tracking for stability. Again, these were manufacturer design errors that they just never fixed because they never wanted to. But remember, guys, when it comes down to it, this was an old school way of thinking, is we'll design a car, turn around and take elements from other vehicles that we have parts for to help build these vehicles. That way they can increase the number of parts they build versus the number of units they sell. The more units they can sell with those same amount of parts, the more money they're able to save. It was a very old school way of thinking. And it is why GM has been able to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to many things. Because when it comes down to it, the Sierra and the Silverado are nearly identical with very minor changes. And those minor changes usually come in the form of the grille. Most of the grills and front bumper assembly is where the difference is.
Okay, but we're talking about the Toyota RAV4. And I have seen like it pretty much stays the same with a little bit of upgrades. And it's nice to see something that they stick with and you're not afraid it's going to go away for a while.
Yes. And the reason I brought all of that up, let me bring this full circle. The full circle is when you have a setup like that, you can service more markets. Meaning you can get the suburban mom that wants the four-wheel drive and you can get the dad that needs the truck. So with those same parts, you just built two vehicles for one family. That's really what they were trying to do and the purpose of it. Will they do it? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, when it comes down to it, they have their own research and development department. Toyota's TRD department does a lot of off-road stuff. Guys, you saw Silver Swine, which was a Toyota Tacoma, and that was an 04 Toyota Tacoma. So that gave you guys a glimpse of that era that he was talking about. That era is long gone now, but remnants of it still exist within the company to where they might want to try to revive that. Will they? That's going to come down to the shareholders. So we really won't have much control over it.
Okay, that's all the time we have for today.
All right, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in today. Today was an awesome day. We shout out Jay for the super chat and for becoming a mod here on the channel again. Thank you guys for all the support. We are growing daily, and we know that it's through you guys liking and subscribing, interacting with the videos, watching all the way through. This is what helps us build these channels for the future. We're really trying to grow. So we're putting a lot of emphasis and a lot of time and a lot of research into our shows. This is why we did the news section and Q&A versus a project. We just noticed that the projects were kind of slowing down the live chat and we weren't able to do very much. So we're hoping that this will bring in more. If you guys want to see more live streams on the Saturday, make sure you guys are interacting, because it's through that interaction that we're going to know that it's time to add more shows.
The more we grow, the more we can bring you.
Correct.
And we only had one chatter today, other than when we joined the chat, of course, is the official JLS 2026 was number 1.
Awesome.
Usually we announce the top 3.
Yep. And then top 3 also have a chance of becoming mods on the channel as well. So just know, if you guys are here and interacting with the channel, there's a chance you guys could become moderators of the channel. Just show that you're interacting and helping to bring about the positive atmosphere of the automotive community. And you are more than likely in the running if you're in that top 3. So, guys, it's been a great show. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Our next show, when is our next show, producer?
That would be July.
It'll be in July, and It's always last Saturday of the month,
Ooh.
3 p.m.
So this is gonna be a little confusing. So July 31st is on a Friday. That means our show will be on July 25th because that is the last Saturday of July.
Correct. So July 25th, we will be back with another show to talk about the news and do Q&A. Make sure you guys are tuning in for that. We will bring you guys all the automotive news for July, and we will have an open Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can chat those in. We'll help you answer it and help get you on the right path.
And what time?
And that will be at 3 p.m. Central Time. Guys, I want to say thank you for all the support. And remember, guys, this stuff is just nuts and bolts. See you on the next one.